So with Sunblast nerfed, Lightning Conduit nerfed, and with Covenant probably being a T1 unique that's completely inaccessible for the average player, I'm loading up Explosive Trap. But this time I'm using Leadership's Price, and I'm loading up on Softcore Trade. Let's get straight into it. This is a Leadership's Price build, so the top two attributes, in this case Dex and Int, need to be the exact same, and this tree does this with no other attributes on gear. The rest of the tree is pretty straightforward. It gives you a ton of early resistances, and you could path down here if you want to run one extra aura early on, but I'm relying on Devouring Diadem to fit in all my auras. I'm going to be target farming both this and Leadership's Price, my early Atlas strategy, which is going to be rushing maps with June, rushing the bosses for a lot of Screaming and Incandescent Invitations, hopefully getting a lot of Twins contracts, and also getting a lot of Diadem drops. I'll probably be doing boss carries, but mostly just for my friends and whoever else really needs it, but it's not something I really probably want to do for profit. It doesn't sound that much fun. So because I'm using leaderships, I can use a normal scepter, and you can see the gear in this POB is not too crazy. This is like a weak 2-prop with like T4, T5 spell damage. This is a 2-prop with life and then crafted suppression. And everything else is defensive on this. You could go for way more offensive mods, but this is sort of the character I want to build because this is the character I want to use as practice for when I maybe want to load up the exact same build on Gauntlet. One of the weird things about this build in particular, though, is that it passes by multiple 1-point jewels, things that you definitely wouldn't skip, so you kind of want to get those early as possible. Now, because Exalt Orbs will probably be slightly cheaper this league, making good 4-prop jewels might actually be possible. That said, these are not those. Finally, the cluster setup looks at using a Fizz cluster, probably. Just make sure you don't have the one which removes elemental damage. And the biggest reason I want to run a cluster at all is so I can fit in a medium cluster, which gives me Arcane Pyrotechnics, which gives me Arcane Surge, and I wouldn't have Arcane Surge otherwise because I'm using Eldritch Battery. Now, one way to get Arcane Surge still is by running a Divine Blessing Aura, which consumes all of your energy shield plus a little bit of mana, but it's a bit of a troll thing to do to try to do that for Arcane Surge and get Divine Blessing from the same thing. As far as new Sensi nodes, I go for Perfect Crime, Pyromaniac, Born in the Shadows, and probably Explosive Expert. If I feel like I have enough damage, I might go for Chain Reaction just to have better coverage while mapping. I would say the biggest question for this build isn't how it performs. We've seen it perform really well on not only my gameplay, but SSS won Templar recently on the Gauntlet playing Explosive Trap. I'd say the biggest question is about early progression. And I kind of have the same question, but I'm going to be progressing this as Cobra Lash into level 12, and then after that I'm going to be going into Spectral Helix. Now I'm going to be doing the same sort of tree that you would have seen for Poison Covenant, and it takes these early nodes and then goes down here to grab this. And I think that this is all you actually need in terms of damage for running Poison Helix all the way until Act 6. I'm not at all exaggerating. This is actually all you need. I'm actually go for this as well. When I'm actually in Act 6, the respec I'm going to be going for is dropping everything, but I'm keeping Fangs of the Viper. And most importantly, I want to be pathing up here now, because this gives me access to Snowforge, which gives me elemental resistance. I really value this notable early on because I'll be in such a rush on day 1 gameplay that my early gearing is going to get a little bit stifled. And then finally, you want to get Explosives Expert. The combination of this plus Master Sapper means you have Frenzy charges and Power charges, and you won't feel so bad about not having Onslaught while you're doing your late act progression. When you play an Eldritch Battery caster this league, you'll really want to have this regenerate 200 ES per second while a rare enemy or unique enemy is nearby mod. This is a Veiled mod, and this lets you sustain your energy shield. Without this, you need either a really big ES pool to use Eldritch Battery, or you need to be an Inquisitor and have that dual regen. This lets you really comfortably spam whatever primary skill you're using without having those two requirements. At any rate, I hope everyone has a really great league start. I think it's going to be an absolute banger of the league. And it's a great league to not be playing league starters. What I mean by that is with all the unique overhauls, with a complete overhaul of the economy with the Divine Orb change, you'll see a lot of different things pop up. And I think we'll experience a really different softcore trade experience. And that's something everyone should be excited for.